Let's face it, when most people think of billionaires, what comes to mind is private jets, champagne, super yachts, and secret handshakes at elite clubs. There's a whole mythology built around them, most of it false, some of it dangerous. Dangerous? Absolutely. Why? Because these myths don't just misrepresent the ultra-wealthy, they do something far worse. They act as self-imposed mental prisons. They make ordinary people believe that success is either impossible or reserved for the lucky few. These myths kill ambition. They excuse mediocrity. They bury potential. In this video, we're going to break down the 5 most dangerous myths about billionaires. These are the ideas that hold people back from even trying to achieve greatness. And by the end, you'll walk away with a new, clearer, and more empowering perspective on wealth, success, and what's really possible in your life. This is perhaps the most seductive and common myth of all. The idea that billionaires are simply lucky. They were born into money, they had the right connections, or they happened to be in the right place at the right time. Let's break this down. Yes, some billionaires were born into wealth, the Waltons of Walmart or the heirs of Coke Industries. But did you know that over 70% of today's billionaires are self-made? According to a 2023 report by UBS and PwC, more than 2/3 of billionaires did not inherit their wealth. They created it. Think of Elon Musk. He wasn't born in Silicon Valley. He was born in South Africa, grew up under apartheid, got bullied in school, and taught himself computer programming at age 10. He sold his first game at 12. No luck there, just relentless curiosity and work. Oprah Winfrey was born into poverty, abused as a child, and grew up in an era where both her race and gender worked against her. Today, she's one of the most powerful media moguls in the world. If you think luck made them billionaires, you're missing the full picture. Believing that success is all about luck quietly strips away your sense of control. It convinces you there's no point in trying, that the game is rigged and you're too late. So you don't play, you don't take risks, you don't grow. But in reality, billionaires stack small advantages, develop rare skills, seize opportunities, and work harder and longer than most people can imagine. Timing plays a role, yes. But as the old saying goes, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Instagram and Netflix documentaries will have you believe that billionaires sit on beach chairs with margaritas while their money works for them. But that's far from the truth. Jeff Bezos was working 100-hour weeks when he founded Amazon, a company that ran out of money multiple times in its early days. He personally drove boxes to the post office, manually packed shipments, and borrowed desks made from doors to save money. Elon Musk famously slept on Tesla's factory floor, working 120-hour weeks during production crises. Even Warren Buffett, in his 90s, still reads 5 to 6 hours a day and works tirelessly analyzing businesses. Why? Because wealth creation is a full-time obsession, not a part-time gig. Believing otherwise creates a toxic illusion of passive success. The idea that you can work a few hours a day, set up an online business, and coast your way to billions. People latch on to this fantasy, set unrealistic expectations, get discouraged quickly, and quit when results don't come fast. But billionaires aren't working less. They're working smarter and longer. Not necessarily in the conventional sense of manual labor, but through obsession, strategic thinking, and relentless consistency. They build systems, teams, and networks, but they stay involved. Real success demands input. the villain myth. According to this belief, billionaires hoard money, exploit workers, dodge taxes, and manipulate markets for personal gain. Now let's be honest, there are bad actors in every group. Yes, some billionaires exploit loopholes, dodge taxes, or treat employees unfairly. But painting all wealthy individuals with the same brush is intellectually lazy and emotionally dangerous. Think of what Bill Gates has donated. Over $50 billion through the Gates Foundation, tackling global health, education, and poverty. Think of Patagonia founder Yvon Chouinard, who gave away his company worth $3 billion to fight climate change. Or Chuck Feeney, who quietly donated his $8 billion fortune during his lifetime and died with less than $2 million in his name. His motto, giving while living. Yet when wealth is villainized, it creates an unconscious rejection of prosperity. People start believing that money is evil, and by extension, anyone who has a lot of it must be corrupt. That belief becomes self-sabotage. After all, how can you chase something you secretly resent? The reality is, money is a magnifier. It amplifies who you already are. If you're generous, wealth allows you to give more. If you're selfish, it exposes that too. But blaming money or those who earn it isn't wisdom. It's a convenient excuse. Another seductive myth, the pedestal illusion. We tell ourselves billionaires must be extraordinary. They must have IQs of 180, photographic memories, or some divine gift from the universe. It's comforting in a twisted way. If they're superhuman, then it's okay that we're not billionaires. Right? Wrong. Yes, many billionaires are intelligent, but that's not what makes them rich. Steve Jobs openly admitted he wasn't the best coder or engineer at Apple, but he had vision, taste, and relentless focus. Richard Branson has dyslexia and struggled academically, but his emotional intelligence and risk tolerance built the Virgin Empire. Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, scored poorly on standardized tests, failed the LSAT twice, and sold fax machines door to door before inventing $1 billion product. Assuming you have to be a genius to succeed is another limiting belief that quietly kills potential. It becomes a mental loophole. I wasn't born with it, so you don't push, don't study, don't create. But billionaires aren't born with magic. They develop grit, emotional stamina, focus, and a hunger to master just one thing. Then they scale it. It's not about brilliance. It's about discipline, endurance, and obsession over time. This one is lethal because it kills confidence before the first step. We look at a successful person and assume they had a master plan, clear vision, and everything figured out from the start. Reality. Total chaos. Reed Hastings started Netflix by mailing DVDs. He didn't plan for a global streaming empire. He simply hated late fees at Blockbuster. Howard Schultz didn't invent Starbucks. He worked for the company as a marketing executive and only later bought it from the founders. Jack Ma was rejected from 30 jobs, including KFC. He launched Alibaba from a small apartment with no tech background, just a deep belief in the internet's future. Waiting for the perfect plan is one of the most seductive traps. People delay action, waiting for clarity, expertise, or guarantees. But perfection never arrives. Most billionaires figured things out mid-air. They built the plane while flying it, because success is rarely clean. It's not about starting with certainty. It's about starting anyway and staying in motion. What separates the ultra-successful isn't that they were sure. It's that they moved forward even when they weren't. These myths about billionaires aren't just misunderstandings. They're dangerous traps. They make us resent success. They make us fear money. They make us believe that we are powerless in a world where a select few have rigged the game. But here's the truth. The world is not fair, but it's full of opportunity. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to have it all figured out. What you need is the willingness to question these myths, to take action despite fear, to build something of value, and to keep going long after others quit. Billionaires don't live in a different universe. They live in the same one, but they play by different rules. Not because they made them, but because they questioned the ones society handed them. So maybe it's time you did the same. If this video helped break some mental chains for you, don't forget to subscribe to Inspirational Ideas. Share this with someone who needs a mindset shift, and leave a comment below. What myth did you believe? And what's stopping you now?